following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, into the breach do we go, dear friends. As always, we like to meet at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Almost every day. And what do we have happening? Well, not a lot. We're up about 4 points at the on the S&P cash. Volume has been tepid all day. In fact, we had kind of the lightest opening we've had in about 6 months in the New York Stock Exchange stocks. So very light first 30 minutes. It's done a little bit better lately. We're still under 2.1 billion shares, so a little bit better. But for 2-3 points most of the day higher, it's been very poor. NASDAQ volume in a lot of the stocks I'm looking at is extremely light. So what do we have? Big no volume move. Some people may be thinking we're waiting for the vote in France, but I don't. If you believe the polls, the far left candidate's going to win what? 150% of the vote, 200, 400%, whatever it is. However they stuff the ballot box over there, they're going to win huge. So I don't know why anybody would be waiting, or what impact it would have, as everybody and their dog says they know what was going to happen. I think probably for the people in France, the bigger thing is how many seats does Le Pen's party actually get. It is a parliamentary system over there. She could get enough to have to form a coalition and get even more power than the few seats that she has. So maybe is that it? Don't know. Well, anyway, not a lot of volume. We had our jobs numbers. Markets kind of moved a little bit. Nothing exciting there. Probably the biggest thing is that we're held up by almost a single stock today, that being Apple. And we shall see. We'll take a look at that and take a look at some other ones. But why don't we get started out here today with some histoire.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating on this day. In 1818, Karl Marx is born in Trier, Germany. His life work will inspire some of the most constructive reforms in capitalism, such as safer factories and expanded rights for workers. He's also morally responsible for the future murder of this actually should read, of about 150 million innocent people under communist regimes. And you can go to some garden spots and see that the problem with communism is communists. And whether it's Venezuela or Cuba, everybody tries to paint these things as gardens of Eden, and everybody knows exactly what they are. And probably a little less known is the socialist branch of communism, but as many people say, socialism is just communism sold by the glass. The biggest thing, I think, is just the sheer scope of what most people are not taught anymore, which is in the Second World War, almost 70 million people died, almost 50 million of them in the Soviet Union, purging their own people that they didn't like. Then you go to Pol Pot down in Southeast Asia. More people died down there than in the concentration camps of Germany, but a lot of people didn't want to speak about it. But anywhere you go, communism is probably the blight of the world since 1818, and Karl Marx was born. And again, we always fight and have elections between what is the unequal distribution of assets and the equal distribution of misery? The answer is probably somewhere in between Karl Marx and Ayn Rand, but we have to continually fight for it. The Karl Marx wing generally thinks that they are 100% right. Unfortunately, most of the time when you go to unrestricted socialism, you find wonderful places like Detroit or Baltimore, Maryland, or other famous murder capitals of the world. Just you don't find a lot of big capitalist areas with huge crime problems. I'm just saying. On this day in 1818, where will it come from? A lot of people asking me why I think the market's going to roll over. Generally, I say I don't know, but we are starting to see cracks emerge again in the high yield credit space that were very similar in fashion to 2014. As I said, not really sure what we are waiting for today, but I'm wondering what the repercussions are going to be of Puerto Rico going bankrupt. In fact, I think the Supreme Court, what's his name? The president? What's his name? The guy that runs the Supreme Court, the head judge. Here comes the judge. Anyway, he appointed another judge to oversee that, I think just a few hours ago. And I'm wondering, you wonder what the repercussions are going to be. We've seen a lot of these Argentina bailouts and other things, but this one's kind of a little closer to home. And I'm still not sure all of the bank shots are going to happen. But certainly we are starting to see, at least in the United States, those high yield credit spaces having the potential to have a contagion into the rest of our economy. And you don't have to look back very far to just 2014 when a similar thing happened. Any little pullback in this market, as the venerable William Buffett likes to say, you can tell who's swimming without a bathing suit when the tide goes out. And can you imagine just maybe 200 points, not that far, of the S&P pulling back? How many cracks and how many naked people would we see in the surf? Just one man's opinion. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. People posting stuff in the den. Stephen Hawking. So we have 100 years for humans to escape Earth. Always exciting stuff. I remember reading all the stuff that said we had the population boom. I think I was in high school when that happened. Gave us 10 more years. As soon as there were 4 billion people, we'd all starve. And now we got 8 billion people. I continue to see doom and gloom sold post-sale. But I think I remember that, what's the guy that was in Cheers, the head actor on that? I remember being somewhere in Hollywood and having to get through a bunch of traffic. He was yelling and screaming and said all the whales would be gone by 1995. And we still have whales. Doom and gloom, easy to predict, especially when everybody's going to be dead before it ever happens. 100 years, I'm not worried about it. We'll be back after this. We're going to start looking at charts.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Up a little bit less than 4 points on the S&P cash volumes, all but stalled for the last 30 minutes. 2.155 billion shares on the NYSE consolidated tape. So, again, not a lot to rain about. We talked Wednesday and Thursday about the onslaught from CNBC and some of its hosts to push Apple higher. Getting into that today, and no volume. Yesterday you had 23 million shares. The day before that, 45 million shares. Today we're just turning a little over 19 million shares. They have whipped people into a frenzy. I think maybe I saw 10 different people yelling and screaming buy. But it doesn't look like they're flooding in to buy it. I don't think this is the biggest short out here, but I think you might be scooping up the last of the people to try to buy the highs in Apple, at least for a little while. Maybe by the time the next iPhone ships, that will change. For me, this thing could easily get right back down to 127 in any kind of market pullback. And I would say that more than likely, as soon as this thing turns, that 127 area is the target. It wasn't so bad, but I do kind of see, just almost a Pavlovian response from the infotainment crowd on cable news. IBM, we've got the big Buffett thing going on this weekend. Many people out there, he did disclose that he sold a third of his position in IBM and kind of tanked this one out this morning. Pretty good volume, 9 million shares. Unclear. He bought most of his stuff at about 145, so he didn't really lose money. But it is kind of rare for him to sell out on a position. Not exactly sure where he did sell it. This does put the current CEO in the hot seat, though. Generally, you don't want to be a CEO in a company that Buffett's selling. That's kind of the worst curse. The CEO's name, Ramadi, I think is the way you pronounce it. The real question is just when to buy this thing. I think that Watson is a great product. The question is, you've got Amazon coming out with some kind of machine learning package. Google already has. They've open sourced this stuff. Is there going to be a real need for Watson on the long and huge scale? Or is it more of a cloud-based thing where you're not buying your own hardware as IBM's kind of pushing it? It's kind of a hard thing. IBM does have something that's a little bit better than most, but it's not that far away from, having an Alexia in your home. So I don't know if he's given up. He's only sold a third of his position, but never a good sign. And I think he started buying back at about 125, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not in problems. Is the world going to end out here? It's not. But your real big low down here is about 146.46. If Buffett's selling, then you're probably going to find a lot of other people over the last in the next couple of days are going to probably be willing to sell on any bounce, thinking that if Buffett's selling, I'm selling. And that's kind of it. I don't know if IBM's that bad. I think that Watson is a very good product. The question is, when does it take off? I remember sitting in a deal with Steve Jobs. Not Steve Jobs. Was it Steve Jobs? He may have been there too. It was a Comdex thing, and it had to be around 1996, something like that. So I went down there and plopped down, but it was not Steve Jobs. It was Bill Gates. And in fact, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs were both there. And they were, one of the guys was asking, one of the commentator was asking a lot of questions on stage. And I think it was it had to be like 96. He says, why was Microsoft so late to the internet party? He says, we weren't late. We were 4 years early. It just didn't quite develop exactly as we thought. No one knew the exact future. But of course, Steve Jobs wasn't there as part of Microsoft. He was there. I think he was pushing Next at the time and pushing Pixar and animation and computers and stuff. They just happened to both be there. But kind of interesting. I always thought that was a thought. He says, no, we started hiring people in 1990 for the internet. We just didn't know how it would develop, when it would develop, and when the infrastructure, because it didn't make any sense unless you had some way to get on the internet. And when we hired these people in 89 and 90, we did, the only way to get on the internet was CompuServe at $8 an hour. Thank God my company paid for it. But that was it. So how many people remember CompuServe? That was like even pre-AOL and all that other stuff. Yeah, I ran out some big bills. Long before you got mail. Oh, yeah. We've always got mail, don't we? We've always got mail.
I got mail! Yay! I got mail! Yay!
Well, not quite the AOL thing. Other things of interest out here. Looking for a long NE, which is Bob in Colorado. So we'll take a look at this. This is Noble Energy. I tend to not buy stocks that test recent lows on lighter volume unless that volume is about 50%. I also don't like buying lows when the energy off the last major high back down to this low is any different than the energy up. That generally connotes some level of consolidation and not a V bottom. So you had 15.8 shares 15.8 million shares yesterday as it pierced the low. You're back into the trading range. But normally what that connotes is a couple of bounces and sometimes 3 bounces up and down. And then if you get no volume, that's where the big move off the bottom comes. So my thought on this would be, if you wanted to buy it just because it was a little bit lighter volume, you could. Maybe you get a bounce to $5.20. But my guess is that's going to bounce around there for a while. So if that's enough for you, that would be my target, 520 on this thing. But my guess is this is going to go sideways for a little while. And I could continue to see maybe Monday or Tuesday yet another shock in the commodities marketplace. In fact, I'm kind of situated for it, thinking that we're not that far off from maybe a major shock. I think there's a lot of people, a lot of moving parts out here that can break with any lower price in crude. And I don't think the downside is over yet. So I would hold, but on a minimal buy, it is there, but not that much to the upside. Wait for the consolidation would be my warning.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And what do we have? I'm trying to read this email here. I just about had it. Where's that? Oh, there it is. Okay, he wants to know about Tesla, and this is kind of a convoluted email, so I will just talk about Tesla.
You serve me well, hybrid. But still, you burn some gas, and so you disgust me.
That's right. Disgusting. Disgusting. Burn any gas is disgusting. Tesla coming back a little today. Again, this is much like most of the patterns out here, and that is you've had your big run above the 3x3 or 9-day moving average. Let's show the 9-day here. It's just tends to be a little smoother. So you're kind of mostly above the 9-day for 15, 20 days or so. Then you get the move down below it, and then you get a move back above it, and then you looking for the next move underneath it. So, if this thing can get back up to about 315 and then kind of roll back down, that would be where I would pull the trigger on it. What you want to see is that the shorts have kind of given up. As it goes up, they all cover. There aren't a lot of new shorts, and that's it. But this thing's always perennially 25 or 30% short. So it may be one of the hardest stocks to ever short. But kind of looks like it may have topped out, but you need kind of a little bit of thrust up here that fails to actually get a better signal. I would not be short it right now, but I would say that you're probably maybe midweek next week. But my guess is that they'll run shorts out of this no matter what. They're going to run a few more. And at that point, when they finally, you see that there isn't the ability to squeeze the shorts out of this stock, that will be the time to pull the trigger. What else do we have? Okay. Looking at a few other emails out here today. You can always email me at path@tfnn.com. You can always call at 877-927-6648. And, of course, what else can you do? You can put a message in the den. What do we have out here? Okay, so we're up 4 points in the S&P cash. Volume continues to come through a drip at a time, 2.238 billion shares. So, wow, we got 30 minutes left. Man, they're going to need a ton of volume coming back in. This is a high going into a weekend, and we could be less than 3 billion shares today. That would be a rather weak close, pushing highs up here. So we will keep an eye on it. Why don't we look at some of the other stocks that I've been looking at this week? Let's go back a couple of days and start taking a look. A lot of these had earnings. Illumina, the DNA company, back up to its previous highs on fairly light volume. It's kind of testing the October 6th high when this thing did fall apart. 186.88 with a million shares. We're basically into it with that same kind of super light volume. And again, that kind of connotes what you're going to see into the IBB. All this is in the IBB, by the way. But you are up against these kind of resistance levels. There is no additional strength, and the energy is about the same on the way down as the way up. Could you get to 200 on this? It is possible if the market decides to go higher. $200, I think this thing would probably be a short. Oxy got slammed down yesterday. So let's take a look at this one. Slammed down into this gap and the double gap. You could have made a case to buy this thing at the double gap, which is at about 58.50, 58.75. This thing, the original gaps in this started going higher back on the 26th of January of 2016. So we've made all this way. We've come back down here with Occidental. We've moved up, but what have we done? We came down with 11.6 million shares yesterday. We're up on 4.5 million shares today. So there wasn't any kind of super low blowout. We have pretty much come within about $2 of the January 20th, 2016 low, and we did that on more volume. So again, I can't see anything other than, at the best, some consolidation, a test of the 55.89, and then maybe the bottom of crude would be in. But we're so close to these lows, I just figure that we're going to go into them. What else is out here? RealPage. We were watching some of these other stocks that were just going up on super light volume. You've got a break in RealPage that happened today. This could take you all the way back down to 29 bucks. Again, when you see these breaks after very, very long upward thrusts, especially on lighter volume, you normally get a heavy down day, and then you get the push back higher. And what you want it is to go back above either the 9-day or the displaced moving average, which is going to be about 36.5. So you can get a couple of days where this thing could get back up to about 37.5 and then give it up. Probably a nice short back down to this $29 level where the whole thing took off. RXN, which is Rexford Corporation, just bounced around the highs. SCCO, when we look at this, basically going into a lot of the congestion that started on the, November 10th of 2016. This thing started on a huge sign of strength, went sideways, consolidated out till the 30th of December, and then went up to $39.50 on February 12th. It's come back down. It has come back down on lighter volume. Downside again is that you had much heavier volume yesterday, 1.8 million shares, about 600,000 shares today on the bounce. Almost always, if you're going to get those kind of huge volume down days and gaps, you've got to look at best case, that it goes sideways and consolidates and the volume drops out, and then maybe you buy it. But, you get a one-day bounce like this, and then you get the reversal come Monday. This looks to me like it could come back out here against the huge sign of strength on the 10th of November last year, and that would have you at the low of that spike up at $30.22. And the way copper's been acting, I would not be surprised. Again, you can give me a call. We'll go to ACIA. Robert in Chicago. How you doing?
Hey, David. What's your view on ACIA?
Yeah, what are you thinking on this?
Has it bottomed here? Buy it at 43 or 42?
It could have. What I dislike is the volume was a little bit too much on 42, 48. I think you're going to get a retest of that. So you're not that far away from it. I'll zoom in here a little bit. You've had kind of a bounce. You had this spike. Volume did increase. You've had 2 days down. We'll catch you on the other side of the commercial, okay?
Yeah, great.
Okay.
This Sunday, May 7th, the French elect a new president and markets and currencies around the world react. Tom O'Brien has just launched a special for Market Insight subscribers where he'll be hosting back-to-back weekend webinars to break down the market action as France votes and futures react. This Sunday night, May 7th at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time, Tom O'Brien will host a special webinar as France votes and markets and currencies around the world react to the implications on the future of the EU and worldwide indices. The following Saturday morning, May 13th, Tom O'Brien will host a second live webinar for Market Insight subscribers at 9 a.m., breaking down the previous week's trading action following the election of a new French president, as well as what to expect as we approach summer trading. New subscribers will also receive a free copy of Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, and this offer comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. All the action starts this weekend, so sign up now at the front page of TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And we're back. And Robert from Chicago, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So what do you want to do with this?
Well, I thought I might pick it up at around 42 or 43.
Yeah, boy.
Missed it?
No. It's just that I haven't seen today's numbers, but I'll look at it in a little bit. But the whole tech sector, the advanced decline line has been going down. In fact, okay. I think today we're up on one single stock, and that's Apple. We're going to have something majorly change over the weekend for me to ever think that I would want to buy anything in the next couple of days in the NASDAQ. My thought is that the election goes the way that everybody says it does. Everybody thinks the EU is going to stick around, and they take money out of the U.S. market to go back into the depressed Euro market. So I think we could have kind of a drawdown for a while. After the Brit exit vote, a lot of cash came all over here on the decline in the thought that the end of the euro was nigh. I think that this could turn things around, and maybe the precipitative factor, it can go exactly like it does, but I think next week we see the change, and that is that people are going to start taking a lot of the cash that they moved over here, move it back over to Europe. I think it's kind of a short-term deal. I think everybody probably after a while, if it's an investment, will probably wish they would have kept their money over here or just gone to cash. But that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I wouldn't buy anything today. Right. If I'm wrong on Monday, so be it. I just don't see the super light volume going up with the horrible advanced decline lines, especially in the NASDAQ over the last 4 or 5 days. That makes me think. And then, of course, you got two companies that whiffed this week, Facebook and Apple. Again, they're pushing Apple up. But it's taking every effort of everybody at CNBC to do it. It's very tough for me to be bullish on anything. Maybe Monday or Tuesday, but I think you can still get this at 42.48. So at least you could get it back at that previous low. I wouldn't want to buy it with any kind, even if I was bullish, I don't think I'd want to buy it unless it got back down under 44. And more likely the test of 42.48.
Okay, and David, do you understand this company? Is it a Twilio? Or, I mean, it seemed like Twilio got hammered the other day, and this stock came down very hard too. And I thought maybe they're similar companies.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
They
all right.
manufacture and sell high-speed coherent optical interconnect products. You know what that is?
No.
Okay. On each end of a fiber optic connection, after a certain specific distance,
Yeah.
you need to grab the light, amplify it, and send it down the next fiber optic cable. And then sometimes you just need to take some of the data off of it and run it maybe to the local city, and then, of course, the next big long run. So it's basically amplifying light, maybe taking a little off for the internet connection there, and then sending the rest down the pipe. And every year they seem to figure a way to add and get more data on the same fiber optic cable. For years, when they first built all the fiber optic cable, they put in what they call dark fiber. And that was along all the railroad lines. One guy bought up all the right-of-ways to the railroad lines and put all the stuff in. But instead of lighting up a lot of that dark fiber, it just seems like these devices which can run 100 or 200 miles worth of fiber optic cable just get replaced. It's a lot easier than putting on new stuff. And so every once in a while, when they make bigger, better stuff, they have a lot of sales, and then it's a famine for a while.
Yeah.
And then they come up with something that's better, and they sell a lot of it, and then there's a famine for a while. So it tends to be feast or famine in this business.
Right.
There was a big company that I used to short that was right south of the Clearwater Airport on, I think it's East Bay. I think it takes all the way out. There's another road out there. Anyway, it sat literally, maybe 300 yards from the airport on a corner. I think people go down around here. I keep forgetting the name, but I made a boatload shorting it, so I should have remembered it. I just drove by the parking lot and kept on watching the parking lot ebb and flow with more employees and less employees. Every time the parking lot started to look empty, I would do it. Now, that was the absolute boon in the dot-com days of 2001 and 2002 and 3. But it is a boom and fast business. And again, it depends on whether or not you've been able to really change the amount of data you can send down a single fiber optic line. So you've got to know that the upside, again, is starting in this business. And what you had was the big run up to 128.73. You've got a high volume high out here that's sitting, so I can see that. You've had kind of a big pullback. What you wanted to see is a very light volume pullback. And it's not bad. And you're pretty much where you want to be, but unfortunately this could go all the way back down to $34.45. So if you were positive that the NASDAQ was going up another 150 points or so, then I'd say I'd take the risk. I just don't see that right now, and could see after the way Facebook and Apple acted after earnings that it wouldn't, how much juice do they have left, especially when they are the only stocks really holding up the NASDAQ.
Right.
And it looks like the semis have topped out. Looks like a lot of the other parts out there have kind of topped out or are extremely tired. So I'm just not bullish here. Go ahead.
So let's take your view and flip it. And where would you be wrong? Would it be 52? Would it be 56?
Oh, higher?
Yeah.
I would never buy it unless it tested the previous low and lighter volume. I would be more than willing to let it go.
All right. That would be 42, 48. Or would that be 34, 45?
To me, you want to see a stock like that come back in and test it, something like that on half the volume, right?
Right.
That's normally, I'll look for 20 stocks and bypass them to find one that you really see that has a test with lighter volume. Let's go back out here and look. There should be something out here. Let me go back here. There were a few this week. Let's go back and look on some of these. But I mean, there are some out there that don't look that bad. I'm trying to remember which ones they were. Well, I'll try to talk about them in the next segment. Thanks for the call.
Thank you, Dave.
We'll look at them. Oh, here's one. Uranium resources. We'll talk about this out here when we come back.
Thank you.
Okay.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And like I said, I'm just looking for some stocks. There aren't many of them. That is probably the biggest problem. I had to look for a while. But if you look, you will find stocks, and I'll look through 20 of them instead of getting fixated on one and say, I just got to buy that one, or I like that sector. I'd much rather find 2 or 3 or 4 stocks in a sector where the volume just has been cut in half. Regency Centers Corporation, REG. Last low on this is March 10th, $61.90 on 2.4 million shares. Came into it yesterday with 1 million shares. I don't know much about this company. I'm probably pretty sure if I find out about it, I won't want to buy it either. But what is this thing? Real Estate Investment Trust. Okay. So, yeah. But on a chart basis, if this was in a sector that I liked, there are a handful of these stocks out there testing lows with half the volume. So to me, stock testing previous lows with more volume and then bouncing and consolidating. To me, I love it when these things just come down here, go below the previous low, which this one did by 39 cents. It closes back into the trading range. You want to give this thing 3 days if it doesn't kind of come back up. But anyway, you've got a stock that's probably in a trading range from about $62 to $69 as long as the general markets decide to go higher. So that's kind of what you're looking at. We're up 5 points in the S&P cash. Volume is what? 2.4 billion shares. So we've gone up on 2 points on 200 million shares. So there's not a lot of Mo. Mr. Mo is missing in action today. Some of the other things that disturb me about this market are star bulk carriers. Again, we've seen copper kind of roll over, and especially the last two and a half weeks, always made me think that this rally was somewhat dubious. I like the fact that steel and copper and all that stuff ran for a while. You thought you were going to get a nice light volume pullback. But this thing probably should have stopped at about $9, and it didn't. Went through with some fairly decent volume. Now, maybe this is a little bit of an overshoot. But if this market's going higher, it's very tough for me to see that all these bulk carriers are going nowhere, or even worse, down significantly. So, again, very tough for me to get all excited. Someone wanted me to look at Facebook again. Again, you're kind of looking for these, right, I think, looking for these big moves. And that is a close below, like we are getting today on Facebook, below, in this case, the 3x3 displaced moving average. You want one more close above it, and then one close down below it. A lot of times you can get a couple of days above it, and then it kind of starts heading back down. And that's normally where you can pull some shorts off and get some real acceleration to the downside. Normally, they either fall right out of bed, and there's no clear signal to short them, or they do something more like this, and several of the other stocks is. They've come off a little volume like Facebook did yesterday. It goes up today. Really can't do anything. Maybe kind of drifts up a little bit, maybe at around 152 next week. Things back above the 3x3 or 9-day moving average. And then you get that next day close, and it's back below it, and you pull the trigger right there. So I think we're probably within a couple of days. Could we gap down on Monday? I think the election, as I said before, could be reverse psychology, could mean that a lot of cash comes out of the U.S. markets back to the Euro markets, thinking that the Euro will stand with a France solidly in the Brussels camp. I just am not very bullish here. Hate the advanced decline line for the last 5 or 6 days in all the markets. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you Monday. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.